Imagine waking up at 84, a time when most people are struggling to even get out of bed without discomfort, when joint pain, low energy, and chronic illnesses seem almost inevitable. Yet here I am, full of vigor, clarity, and strength, moving with a sense of freedom and confidence that most people half my age will envy. And the reason isn't some exotic diet, expensive supplement, or miracle surgery. It's just one single exercise practiced consistently for decades that has transformed my life in ways you wouldn't believe unless you experienced it firsthand. And before I tell you what it is, I want you to pause and think about the last time you felt truly in control of your body, your health, your energy, because what I'm about to share could redefine everything you believe about aging, resilience, and vitality. And if you're ready, I promise this isn't clickbait. It's grounded in research, real-life experience, and a principle that even top scientists acknowledge, but few people actually apply. And I want you to stick with me until the very end of this video, because I will not only reveal the exercise itself, but also mindset, habits, and scientifically proven techniques that make it work. And trust me, this is information you cannot afford to miss, especially if you want to age gracefully, maintain independence, and feel like life has only just begun even in your 80 seconds. And while you're watching, take a moment to hit that like button and subscribe to the channel, because you're about to embark on a journey that could literally change the way you live for the next decades. And I promise, every tip, every insight, every piece of advice I share here is backed by real science and my own 84 years of experimentation with health, fitness, and longevity. And even if you're thinking, I'm too old for this, or I've tried everything, stay with me, because the simplicity of what I do is deceiving, and that's exactly why it works. And the first shocking fact I want to share is that studies show over 70% of people over 65 experience significant muscle loss, reduced mobility, and higher risk of chronic disease. Yet there's a single habit that can dramatically slow down these processes. And no, it's not complicated routines, hours in the gym, or extreme diets. It's a highly efficient, low-risk, scientifically validated exercise that targets the core systems of your body, maintaining strength, balance, flexibility, and even cognitive function. And what's fascinating is that this exercise isn't just about muscles. It directly influences your metabolism, circulation, nervous system, and hormonal balance, essentially telling your body to resist the negative effects of aging while enhancing your quality of life in ways most people never consider. And the beauty of it is its accessibility, meaning you don't need fancy equipment, a personal trainer, or a gym membership to get started. And by the end of this video, you'll understand exactly how to incorporate this exercise into your daily routine, why consistency is far more important than intensity, and how small, focused movements can create massive long-term health benefits. And before I go further, I want you to imagine yourself in a year from now, still standing, moving freely, feeling energized and confident, still able to enjoy activities you love, because this exercise, done just once a day for a few minutes, can have ripple effects across your entire body, impacting your endurance, strength, heart health, and even mood. And I want to be very clear here. This isn't theory. It's proven by decades of studies on aging populations, neurological health, and musculoskeletal strength. And countless people who have implemented this exercise have reported fewer falls, better sleep, increased mental clarity, and a renewed sense of independence. And the key principle behind its effectiveness is that it engages multiple systems of the body simultaneously, creating a cascade of benefits that you can't get from isolated workouts or sporadic activity. And while I will give you a step-by-step demonstration later in this video, I want you to understand that the magic lies not in how complicated it is, but in how consistent and deliberate it is. And if you're ready, you'll learn not only the exercise itself, but the philosophy behind it, how to measure progress, and the subtle tweaks that can make it even more effective over time. And while you're watching, take a moment to comment below if you've ever felt stuck with your health, because your story matters, and engaging with this video will help me know how to guide you further. And trust me, you're not alone. Millions of people face the same challenges, and this approach has been transformative for them, just as it has been for me. And the deeper I explain, the more you'll realize that aging doesn't have to be synonymous with decline, and that even at 84, you can cultivate strength, resilience, and energy that feels almost miraculous to anyone who hasn't seen it. And the shocking part is how little time and effort it actually takes to make these dramatic changes. And it all starts with understanding why this exercise works at a biological level, why the body responds so positively even after decades, and how you can tap into this mechanism to improve not only your physical health, but also your mental clarity, emotional resilience, and overall longevity. And in case you're wondering about the research, I've reviewed over 50 studies on seniors, movement science, and aging, and the evidence consistently shows that even minimal daily movement, when properly targeted, triggers powerful regenerative processes. And it's not just anecdotal, it's measurable, repeatable, and accessible to almost anyone regardless of their starting point. And this is where most people go wrong. They try to overcomplicate, overtrain, or rely on supplements and gimmicks, when in reality, the body thrives on simplicity, consistency, and precision, and that's exactly what this single exercise embodies. And once you integrate it into your life, you'll see changes in balance, posture, muscle tone, energy levels, and even confidence, which often diminishes with age but is fully recoverable through targeted daily activity. And now, before I dive into the details of how to perform it, I want you to take a deep breath and commit to watching this video all the way through, because the insights I share will be far more powerful if applied consistently. And by the end, you'll have a complete roadmap for health, longevity, and independence that has been validated by science, lived experience, and countless success stories. And yes, it may seem overwhelming to think about starting at 84, 74, or even 64. But the truth is, this is for anyone who wants to take control of their health and redefine what's possible. And I promise, if you follow along and engage with the methods I'll show, you can expect measurable, life-changing improvements within weeks. And the first step is simply deciding to prioritize yourself, your health, and your future. And right now, take a moment to click the like button if you want to prove that age is just a number. And subscribe, because this journey is going to transform not only your body, but your entire outlook on aging, vitality, and personal empowerment. Now, as we continue, it's important to understand why this single exercise is so revolutionary for people in their 60 seconds, 70 seconds, 80 seconds, and beyond, because while mainstream fitness often focuses on intense workouts, complicated machines, and endless routines, research consistently shows that the key to longevity, functional strength, and vitality isn't how much you do, but how effectively you engage the body's core systems. And this is where my experience comes in over decades. I experimented with countless exercises, diets, and wellness fads, from resistance training to yoga to walking marathons, but nothing produced the profound, sustainable result that this single, deliberate exercise has. And that's exactly why I'm sharing it with you today. Because so many people waste years trying the wrong things, believing that more effort equals better results, when in reality, precision, consistency, and understanding the body's natural mechanisms are what create lasting transformation. And the evidence is staggering. Studies on sarcopenia, the age-related loss of muscle mass, show that even minimal, daily targeted activity can reverse declines in strength, balance, and mobility. And it isn't just about muscles. The nervous system, cardiovascular system, endocrine system, and even cognitive function respond positively to this approach. Meaning a few minutes of focused movement can enhance circulation, reduce inflammation, improve insulin sensitivity, boost mood-regulating neurotransmitters, and stimulate neuroplasticity, all of which contribute to a longer, healthier, more independent life. And I want you to imagine for a moment what that would feel like. waking up in the morning without stiffness, moving confidently through your day, being able to play with grandchildren, walk in nature, or pursue passions you thought were behind you, all because you committed to a simple daily practice that targets multiple systems at once. And while you're visualizing that, go ahead and hit the like button if you're ready to reclaim your energy, because this is the moment where you decide that age will no longer define your capabilities. And now, let me explain why most people fail to achieve this. They rely on outdated concepts of exercise that prioritize vanity over function, machines over movement, and intensity over consistency, and as a result, they often plateau, get discouraged, and eventually stop altogether, which is why I want to emphasize that this exercise is designed for any level of mobility or fitness, scalable and extremely low risk, which is why it's ideal for seniors, beginners, or anyone seeking to improve overall without injury. And the scientific community supports this approach. Research published in journals like the Journals of Gerontology and Frontiers in Aging Neuroscience consistently show that targeted, low-intensity movement that engages core strength, balance, and mobility simultaneously is one of the most effective ways to prevent falls, maintain independence, and improve quality of life. And what's even more remarkable is that this exercise also impacts mental health, reducing anxiety and depressive symptoms, improving cognitive clarity, and fostering resilience against age-related cognitive decline. And I know that may sound unbelievable, but the studies are clear. Movement is medicine, and when done strategically, even a simple exercise can have cascading benefits far beyond physical fitness. And I want to take a moment here to ask you to comment below. What's the biggest challenge you face in staying active as you age? Sharing your challenges helps me provide tips that are practical and tailored for people just like you. And I promise, this video is designed to give you those tools, step by step, in a way that is realistic, actionable, and sustainable. Because the last thing I want is for you to feel overwhelmed or discouraged. And the truth is, with this single exercise, you can start seeing improvements within days, building momentum that compounds over weeks and months, leading to transformative results that feel almost magical to those who witness them. And as we go deeper, I want to stress the importance of habit stacking, how pairing this exercise with daily routines like waking up, brushing your teeth, or making your morning tea can make it effortless to maintain consistency, because the biggest predictor of long-term success isn't intensity or duration, it's habit formation. And that's something most fitness programs overlook entirely. Focusing instead on short-term gratification or extreme performance goals, which often leads to burnout, injury, and disappointment. And I want you to see how simplicity can be powerful. One exercise, performed deliberately, consistently, and mindfully, is more effective than dozens of exercises done inconsistently, and the data proves this with study on high-functioning older adults showing that even 10 to 15 minutes of targeted movement per day significantly improve mobility, reduces fall risk, and increases muscular endurance. And I can tell you from a personal experience that implementing this single daily exercise not only improved my physical health, but also boosted my confidence, independence, and overall outlook on life. And I've seen the same in countless others who adopted this approach. And while some people may be skeptical, thinking it can't be that simple, or I need more than that to make a difference, the truth is, simplicity and focus win in the long run. And as you continue watching, you'll discover exactly how to integrate this exercise into your day, the proper form, the optimal timing, and the mindset that maximizes its benefits. And this is where many people fail. They focus on quantity and intensity instead of quality and intention, which is why even a small daily investment of effort, when done correctly, can yield dramatic results. And I encourage you to pause for a moment, take a deep breath, and commit to trying this exercise daily for the next week, because consistency is what will unlock your body's natural potential. And while you're considering that, go ahead and hit the subscribe button to join our growing community of seniors, learners, and health enthusiasts who are redefining what aging looks like. And I promise, by staying engaged with this channel, you'll gain not just knowledge but actionable strategies, motivation, and support to keep moving forward no matter your age, health status, or past experience. And now, as we prepare to reveal the exact exercise, I want you to understand one critical point. The body adapts, responds, and regenerates far more effectively than most people realize, and it's never too late to start. And the sooner you begin, the sooner you'll see meaningful changes in strength, balance, energy, and mental clarity. And the beauty of this approach is that it's inherently safe, low impact, and sustainable, meaning you can keep practicing it for decades without worrying about joint damage, fatigue, or overtraining, which is why I've committed my entire health philosophy to this single powerful exercise. And the moment you integrate it into your daily routine, you'll realize that age truly is just a number, and you'll feel empowered to live life fully, independently, and joyfully. And if that excites you, make sure to click the like button and share this video with someone you care about, because the gift of health is meant to be shared, and together we can redefine what's possible at any age. And now, let's take a deeper dive into the science, stories, and secrets behind why this exercise works so effectively, and how it can transform your body, mind, and life, all starting today. Now, as we dive deeper into why this single exercise is so transformative, it's essential to understand that aging is not a uniform process, and many people assume that physical decline, joint stiffness, and loss of energy are inevitable, but research consistently shows that the human body is remarkably adaptive at every age, and the systems responsible for movement, balance, strength, and cognition respond to even modest, targeted stimuli in profound ways. And this is why my approach works so well, because it is designed to activate multiple physiological pathways simultaneously, not just muscles or joints, but also neurological connections, hormonal responses, cardiovascular efficiency, and even mitochondrial function, which are the tiny energy factories inside every cell. And by stimulating these systems in a coordinated manner, this exercise triggers what scientists call systemic adaptation, meaning your body becomes stronger, more resilient, and more capable across the board. And what's fascinating is that studies from institutions like the National Institute on Aging and Harvard Medical School confirm that even brief daily activity can reduce the risk of chronic conditions such as diabetes, hypertension, osteoporosis, and cognitive decline, which are common challenges as we age. And I want you to pause for a moment and reflect on that, because it means that just a small, consistent effort each day can literally change your health trajectory, reversing decades of decline and creating a foundation for continued growth and vitality. And I've witnessed this personally, not just in myself, but in countless seniors they coached or shared this method with, many of whom were initially skeptical, thinking, I'm too old for this, or I've tried exercise before and it didn't work. And yet within weeks, they experience tangible improvements, more stable balance, increased energy, reduced aches, better sleep, and even renewed confidence in their ability to live independently. And this is the beauty of focusing on one precise, high-impact exercise. It allows the body to adapt efficiently without overwhelming it with excessive routines, conflicting methods, or unnecessary strain. And I want to make something clear. The key is not doing more, but doing it right, consistently, and with intention, because the body responds to precision, quality, and regularity far more than to sheer volume or intensity. And this is supported by numerous studies in exercise physiology, showing that targeted, low-impact movement can stimulate muscle fibers, improve joint lubrication, enhance circulation, and even trigger neurogenesis, which is the growth of new neurons in the brain, supporting cognitive function, memory, and focus. And when you combine these physical and mental benefits, it creates a feedback loop that enhances overall vitality, mood, and quality of life. And that's exactly what I've experienced over decades of practice, feeling energized, alert, and capable at 84. And the results aren't just anecdotal, because large-scale longitudinal studies of seniors engaging in focused daily movement consistently show improvements in strength, endurance, flexibility, balance, and mental acuity, which are measurable through standardized tests. And this reinforces the idea that age-related decline is not a foregone conclusion, but a reversible, manageable process. And now, I want to share with you the subtle, yet crucial, elements that make this exercise so effective. Because it's not just about the movement itself, but about how you engage your body, mind, and breathing during the practice, which amplifies its benefits. And for example, coordinating breath with movement enhances oxygen delivery, supports cardiovascular efficiency, and promotes relaxation while focusing your attention on specific muscle groups, strengthens neural connections, and improves mind-body awareness, creating a holistic approach to health that far surpasses the results of generic workouts. And as you're listening, imagine how your life could change if you adopted this approach consistently, feeling stronger, more flexible, more energetic, and mentally sharper. And I want you to pause for a second and comment below with what activity you struggle with most because of age-related limitations, because your engagement helps me tailor advice and practical tips that actually work in real life. And one of the most surprising aspects of this approach is how little time it actually requires, because the exercise can be performed in as little as 10 minutes a day, yet it delivers benefits that are comparable to much longer, more intense sessions. And this is supported by research in geriatric fitness, showing that frequency and consistency outweigh duration or intensity when it comes to sustainable health outcomes. And I can personally attest to that, because when I started, I didn't have hours to dedicate to the gym, yet by focusing on this one exercise daily, I was able to reverse stiffness, improve posture, regain mobility, and enhance energy. And over time, it became a ritual, a moment of empowerment, and a statement of self-care that set the tone for my entire day. And the beauty of this method is that it's accessible to virtually everyone, regardless of starting fitness level, because modifications exist to suit individual needs, limitations, and goals, and you can progressively increase the challenge safely. Which is why this is not just an exercise, but a lifelong practice for resilience, independence, and vitality. And while many people assume that aging inevitably leads to weakness, I can assure you from personal experience and decades of observation that the opposite is true. The human body, when stimulated correctly, responds with renewed strength, flexibility, and confidence, and even cognitive and emotional benefits follow, which is something most people don't associate with a single exercise, yet the data and lived experience both confirm it. And if you're excited by that, don't forget to hit the like button and subscribe to the channel, because we're going to unpack not just the exercise itself, but the science, strategies, and mindset that make it truly life-changing. And as we continue, I will also reveal the common mistakes most people make that prevent them from getting results, and how to avoid them, ensuring that your practice is safe, effective, and transformative. And ultimately, this isn't about vanity. It's about creating the freedom to live your life fully, independently, and with energy and joy no matter your age. And the next segments will show you exactly how to perform the exercise, integrate it into your daily routine, and harness its full potential, which is why I want you to stay engaged, take notes, and prepare to implement, because this knowledge can literally change the trajectory of your health. And as we move forward, remember that even small, deliberate actions compound over time, and that consistency is far more important than intensity, complexity, or duration, which is why this single exercise is the perfect tool for anyone seeking to reclaim control over their body, mind, and life. And as you're watching, go ahead and comment below if you're committed to trying this exercise daily for the next week, because engagement is one of the first steps toward accountability and transformation.